and well. I hope you guys had a nice New Year's and a nice Christmas. I wanted to talk with everyone tonight, just to see how everyone's doing. I want to kind of give you guys an update about youth ministries, about what we're doing and what our plans are going forward. And then from there, we're going to try to plan accordingly for the next couple weeks and months for youth ministries and for some updates at church. Okay, so I'm going to start with the updates and we'll go into our discussion for tonight. Okay, so first, I think for the rest of the month of January at least, we're going to be at least doing Zoom meetings. We have another youth junior Goya and Goya meeting in 2 weeks on Monday, and then we could talk more then about to see how things have kind of progressed with the CDC, the state of Illinois, and the metropolis Chicago. I do hope that we can slowly begin to come together again in person, wearing our masks and doing what we need to do. And then from there, we'll meet together and do some fun stuff in person. Obviously, this has been a pretty surreal year. We're now 10 to 11 months into this pandemic, so a lot has changed, and we've done a lot of things to progress and get better. But I know it's been a lot of very difficult for many of us. So I commend all of you for your love and for your attention. Um, so with that being said, so our next meeting we'll do via Zoom again, and that'll be in 2 weeks. I am still optimistic for stuff going on in March and April. So in March, that'll be Great Lent, and then from there we will then celebrate obviously April and May. And May this year, May 2nd is Pascha. I'm really hopeful and optimistic that by May 2nd, we'll kind of pass through this pandemic as best we can, and hopefully we'll be able to reconvene and be together again. So that's Father Chris being optimistic. We'll kind of see how everything goes and go from there. But I kind of wanted to talk with you guys tonight to see, first of all, how you guys have been doing and kind of what your feelings are with everything that's going on in the world. Last time we talked was in December, and I want to hear from you guys, especially with what you guys saw last week at the Capitol Hill. The Capitol Hill situation with the demonstrations and everything else obviously went crazy and haywire. And all of you, being that you guys are now junior Goyans in junior high and in high school, saw it and recognized it for what it was. So I want to hear from you guys. What were your feelings on it, and how did you take everything that kind of transpired at that time? So I'm gonna go around. Everyone kind of give me an opinion, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm gonna start with Billy Banos, and then we'll go from there. Billy, what did you feel, my friend?
Um, we had the TV on channel 7 and like switched right to the news. I was just appalled at what was happening. Like it was crazy considering like especially what happened last like with the riots in the summer, and then now this. It feels like everyone's going extreme to one side and no one's like trying to meet in the middle anymore.
Yeah, good points. Yeah, nice job, Billy. George Cass, what do you think, brother? What have you felt with what you saw last week?
Obviously, it was a hectic scene to see, especially when we're all in school and all our teachers are freaking out about what's going on. You really don't know what's going on. We're not there. It was just a hectic moment in time that, like Billy said, everybody's going far to one side, and the far rights took it a little overboard. Not even a little; they did take it overboard.
Mhm.
But but to flip it over, if you look at all the Democrats saying that Trump did all this, like he basically plotted for them to storm the Capitol. All he said was to have a peaceful protest there. So I don't agree with the Democrats saying that Trump sent them all in.
Yeah, that was pretty. Pretty crazy of what we saw, and I think it really these are not attitudes that bring peace, right? These are not attitudes that bring, hey, let's come to the table and let's talk. These are like attitudes that, we're divided, that this is how we think and this is what we're going to express. Or this is what you guys think and I don't agree with you, so I'm going to hate you and really show it in that way. It was really tough to see. Me being an adult, a little bit older than you guys, I've seen a lot as well too in my life. And it's really disturbing. That's the word I wanted to use. It was really disturbing to see what we saw. Thanks, George, for your opinion. Yanni Nasus, what did you think, my friend? What did you see with that stuff?
Like what happened at the Capitol and stuff,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I just thought it was unnecessary violence, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't think anyone should really storm the Capitol like that. I don't think anyone should have to die.
Do you ever can you compare anything to what you saw? You saw the riots last year. Was there anything else that maybe you've studied or have seen that can compare to that?
Not really. I never really thought it was gonna happen, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty crazy stuff. Costa, Cocos, my friend, Happy New Year. What did you think about everything that transpired last week?
Very crazy.
Yeah, it was really messed up. What is your feelings? I mean, okay, so it's crazy. How'd you soak everything in?
Unnecessary. Didn't need to happen.
Why do you think it happened? Only because of
Unhappy
Trump, or do you
people.
think there's other things underlying too?
Kind of both.
Okay, all right, good.
People
Uh,
wanting attention.
that's a good point. How about that one? People wanting attention. You guys, I always wanted people to think about this. You do realize with us, now that we have social media and everything else, social media has created a platform for anything or any being to have a voice. Think about that. In the past, before social media, you had to be a part of a group, right? Or you had to be part of a select entity. That could be an ethnicity, that could be an orientation, a faith, or whatever you want. Now, with social media, because I have all these posts and everything else, Thomas, put your hand down. I'll get you. Don't worry about it. With everything going on, anyone could say anything they want. And when they do that, we can then get instant gratification. What's instant gratification via social media? Likes, hearts, shares, acknowledgement of our comments, and then people commenting back to us, either saying, "Oh, I agree, great job," or "B, that's completely crazy," or whatever the case may be. And then you start seeing attitudes of people who are in line with you or people who are against you. So my question to you guys, I've got half of you now just giving me a great kind of little synopsis, a background about what we saw last week. What do you think is actually really missing from all of our lives? Why do we need all these gratifications and self-indulgent attitudes that really are promoted from social media, and then in turn our outbursts? I mean, our president does it, all the politicians do it, and then in turn these fascist people, both on the right wing and left wing, as you guys said so nicely, took it to a new level. Why do we need this attention? Why do we need this focus on ourselves so badly? What do you think's missing in our lives? I'm gonna go to Stathi.
You want me to talk about what you were just talking about?
Yeah, talk about what I just talked about. You can
I
talk-
think people
Go
probably
ahead,
want
go ahead.
popularity a lot,
Why?
and
What's so good about being popular?
because people think that if they're not popular, then they don't like really mean anything. But that's not true because God made all of us, and we all are a part of this world and part of this country.
Okay.
Then
You just said something powerful. You said you included God. Ooh, do you think most people include God in their actions or thoughts?
No, if people are physical violence. A lot of people, like people when they were uh, rioting last week, they probably were not thinking about God and what He was thinking up in heaven.
That's that's an excellent point, Stathi. And someone else also sent a message too. I'll kind of respond to it. But the lack of us with our relationship with God is really bad. What I'm saying is, think both levels, okay? Why do we always have to go to one side? You're right or you're left. Which side is correct? Hmm? Neither side is correct. Because if you're all on one side, then if the other side has a different opinion, are they wrong, or is it just they just think differently or have a different idea? Okay. And then if that's regarding the opinions, my other thought is this: don't we need both hands to do the things that we need to do in our lives? So if I only have one hand, will I be able to do the same that I would do with two hands? No. And if I only have the left hand, could I be able to do the same thing if I had both hands? No. So why do we cut ourselves down and say, sorry, I'm with the right hand, I only care about this side. And I don't care what you guys think, that you guys are different than me, and so I must hate you and disagree with you. before social media, we disagreed with each other, right? But we would at least be able to talk. You guys all know what a debate is, right? A debate is an opportunity for people to get together and to debate and converse about a topic. It could be one. It could be one thing about having too many. It could be any topic or whatever the case may be, and just say that I like. Okay, let's be honest. We're all going to talk sports. I like the Bears, but the Bears stunk this year, so I wanted them to lose. Then someone will say, well, you still got to be a Bears fan and say, I hope they do well this year and be positive. Well, I was being a realist. Now we can have a debate. Do we really like the Bears, and why do I like the Bears, or why do I think the Bears stink? And so that's funny, because then when you're debating, you're also doing it in a physical sense. When you're doing it in a computer sense, right, or on my iPhone, here's the best part. Do you see how I am right now? I'm sending a message, and you physically cannot see what I'm sending as a message, because what do you see? You only see the back. And naturally, when someone sends you a message, they're not with you, right? Unless you guys are next to each other in your room or whatever and Snapchatting and doing silly things or whatever. But right now, you guys can't see what kind of message I'm saying. But I could send something so hateful, but because I sent it through social media, I can hide from the reality that someone could be really hurt by what I just said. And because of this power that our phones and our technology has given to us, has it made us a better world? And going back to what Stati said, the correct answer is no. It's actually made us a more sad world, because we hate each other more. We get angry with each other more. We fight with each other more. And we had this unnecessary violence that 5 innocent people got killed at the Capitol Hill building because of protests and riots about a simple politician, Trump. I still can't put my head around that, guys. As being 34 years old, double your age, I've never seen in my life an attitude where we put so much focus about someone. Do you know when the last times that people were acting pro someone so much, or pro negative so much like this? This goes back to communist attitudes, the Nazis, the Ottoman Empire, kings and queens, where people said you're either with us or you're against us. That's not democracy. That's not love. Why act like that and then say that this person is the most righteous and that this is the most appropriate thing to do? I feel bad because I don't think that's the right thing, and I don't think that's what Christ wants us to do. So, Stati made a great point that God was not there, and obviously it's not something that God wants. Someone sent a message that because we never get to see people because of this pandemic, I would kind of agree that this pandemic has heightened our sensitivity, our emotions. So more people are more sharp, are more angered, or are more quick to judge and yell at other people instead of saying, hey, let's talk about this, or say, hey, what is your opinion on this? And I respect and honor your opinion. I might disagree, but I'm still going to be your friend. Why don't we do that in that capacity? And I really think it's because of the lack of Christ. So my question to, Stati said, that God is not here, or that we don't have God in our lives. Why? Why don't we have God, or obviously Jesus, in our lives? What have we put in place of Christ in our lives? What's more important to you guys than Christ? I want to hear from you guys. How about, okay, Thomas, you've had your hand up. What do you want to say?
God. Wait, I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, we'll accept that as an answer. Vasi, Vasi, what do you think? What have we put to be more important than God? What have we put that's more important than Christ?
Probably our popularity.
Why is popularity so popular? What's the importance of it?
Because some people think that they can just do whatever they want and have people like them.
So you guys are in junior high, and some of you are in high school or going to be in high school, okay? The popularity is going to be really important in these grades, because then if you're popular, people What comes? Okay, so Vasi made a great point. I'm going to ask you again. What comes with popularity, Vasi? When you're popular, what does everyone feel about you?
Everyone feels like you are like the one person. Like everyone like kind of looks up to you and just like wants to be like you.
Oh, very good. Okay. So, and everyone's envious. That's a big word, envy. They're envious of us. That means they want to be like you. They want to act like you. They want to have all the friends that you have. If you're a boy, all your girlfriends. If you're a girl with your boyfriend, whatever the case may be. And then you get jealous, right? Then people are going to be jealous of your popularity. But then I say, what's so cool about popularity? Because you know, it's the best part. Me, I've gone through high school. I've gone through college. And as you guys get older, you're going to realize something. This is part of the wisdom of being an adult. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys some big stuff here. You know, we're going to keep it a secret between us, but I'm just letting you know. So when you're in middle school, you're in a smaller school. You go to junior high, there's more kids from other schools that come together. So it gets bigger. Then when you go to high school, it's even bigger. And that's when you want to be with so many cool people and be part of a clique, right? That means either the jocks or the nerds, the cool kids or the losers. You're going to have kids that either do cool things, or then you get like a George Katz who thinks he's good at basketball, but he's not. No, I'm just kidding. Or you're going to have them in different groups, right? But the best part is what comes after high school? College. And college, it's even bigger. And you see this thing I was creating, it's a fishbowl. When we're together, we have a small fishbowl. And then when you go to junior high, it's a bigger fishbowl. And then high school, it's a bigger fishbowl. And college, it's a wide bowl. Where then in turn, all of us become the same. Because what do I care if you're popular in college? I might know 1,000 people who are the complete opposite of what you are. Okay? And then vice versa. So then once you are done with college and then you go on into your life and you're working, what's the popularity contest in work? I don't care how many friends you have at work. At work, you're trying to do better. You're trying to achieve, trying to make more money and take care of you and your family. So what's the necessity of popularity? That's why when I look at like what was going on with President Trump, many politicians, and even athletes and movie stars, they need attention. They need your focus because the more that you click on them, the more that you like their posts, the more that you share their stuff and everything else, you are feeding into the person's not popularity, but their ego. Does everyone know what an ego is? I'm gonna hear from Costa and hear from Costa Cocos. Costa, what do you feel? What do you think? Did I say Costa already? Yeah, I already did Costa. I want your brother, Sammy. I'm sorry, brother. Sam, Speedo, wake up. What's an ego?
How you doing, Father?
How
An
are you,
ego?
man? Happy New Year. Tell me what an ego is, man. Or what you think an ego is.
It's like based off your self-esteem, and some people can have a bigger ego than others.
Now, can you have an ego even if you have a low self-esteem?
You can.
Okay. So I see your point on that one. I think an ego could be a little bit more. An ego is something that in some people gives us who we are, right? And some of us want to build up an ego in our lives by pumping it up with feelings of acknowledgement and popularity, like Vasi said. That was a good point. But you know, our egos can be chopped down just as easily. Mr. Varon, Mike, it's good to see you, my friend. What's ways that someone can get their ego chopped down or hurt?
When someone tells them the truth at something.
Right? And they don't want to believe it?
Yep.
Okay. What else? What's another ego buster?
I don't really know.
Tell me. I mean, think about it. Think of sports. Think of anything.
Oh, losing.
Yeah, right? Why do you think most athletes are such sore losers? Or that they have to pick fights and say, you know, I'm still tough and who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Or look at how many rings or who's the GOAT, you know, because we already know the GOAT is Jordan. My own son, Luke, he even says Kobe. Who's that? Kobe. No, not in this house. Jordan. No Kobe. I know he's dead. He was a great guy, but No Kobe in this house. Jordan, sorry. Anyways, forget about these egos. I don't understand why they're so important. Now, my question, going back to what we originally said, Stathi made great points about God. Vasi made great points about popularity. Christina made a great question, and so did everyone else. My question to you is having an ego a good thing? Because what does an ego lead to? How about that? Luigi, what's going on, my friend?
Not much.
Happy New
How's it
Year. Good
going?
to see from you.
Happy New Year.
What do you think? Is it actually good to have an ego?
I mean, it has its pluses and minuses. I mean, if you have a good ego, you know, sometimes that can mean you're a great person, or a good ego can mean that you're very successful, but in the end, you could be a mean person. I mean, it just depends what you value as an ego.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Why don't you? Okay, so if you got that with ego, why don't you give me an idea? What's the difference between confidence and ego? Because an ego is something we build up, but can't you build up your own confidence?
Yeah.
Okay, so ego, remember, it also comes from the Greek word ego, which means me or I. And when we talk about the ego or the I or the me, what term am I using? Can you guys tell me? In other words, am I talking about a term that is open for others, or is it a singular term? Who wants to answer that one? Christina, what do you feel? Do you think ego is a term used for many things, or just obviously a single term?
I think it's a single term.
It is a single term, right? And so usually when it's a single term, does that mean that it's is it a term used piously or with pride? Everyone knows what it means to be pious, right? Humble, okay, and the other one's prideful. So what do you think an ego means? Go ahead, Christina.
It's used with pride.
Pride. Very good. So let's go back to everything we talked about. What was going on last Thursday when they went into that Capitol? Did they do it out of humility? Did they do it out of love for their neighbor? Did they do it to honor our country and each other? Or what did they do it for? I want to hear from Teddy Lialios. Teddy, why do you think they went in there?
They probably went in there just to, like, I don't know, maybe try to, like, talk to the government, maybe, like, rebel in a way, because there's so many events going on. Maybe they're just fed up.
Okay. But don't you think that's also into a term that is also in a prideful term? Because that's what that might be. So you might have half the people believe one thing, you might have the other half believe another. Don't you think by you causing anarchy and destroying things or making a type of rebellion, that is something that is not obviously pious, but more prideful?
I mean, violence, okay, could get attention to people. So that could be another point why people, like, choose violence to, like, because then more people will pay attention to it. So, like, if something like burns down.
Isn't that seem like a little kid though?
What?
If a kid wants to get attention and it causes violence, you give it attention, but is that a good thing?
Not all the time.
Can you name one time violence is ever good?
I mean, maybe protecting your, like, country in a war.
That's not being violent. That's the opposite, though. That's you in defense. You're not initiating something or causing the anarchy. There's always ways, and I understand where you're coming from, Teddy. So those are good points. There's always ways to make your voice heard. And I look back at the examples of our forefathers and anyone who went to go defend themselves by performing nonviolent acts. I mean, you could start with the closest that we know with Martin Luther King. You can go down to many other politicians. Naturally, because you guys are a part of this, you guys are in Goya and Junior Goya, you guys got to start looking at your faith. See, all of us, we don't look at our faith. We look at everything through a humanistic term. We don't look at the example of our saints. We don't look at our example of the apostles. And then we don't look at the example of our own God and Savior, Jesus Christ. In no instance did we ever see Christ ever expect or encourage violence, right? Violence was always around Christ, even when he was born. I mean, you guys realize when we celebrated Christmas, that 2-3 days after Christmas, we then also celebrated, sadly, the massacre of the 14,000 holy innocents. Does anyone know the story about the 14,000 holy innocents? Can anyone tell me? Raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Why don't you tell? Do you know anything about the 14,000, the innocents?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
So King Herod wanted to kill Jesus, so he sent an order for every son to be killed, and all the babies got killed.
Yeah. Herod got so angry when the wise men didn't go back and tell him where Jesus was that he sent out an order to all the Roman soldiers that anyone that was 2 years old or younger, boy, born in Judea near Galilee, which was thousands of boys, was to be murdered. Okay. So we're talking about right when Christ was born, there was pain and anger all around them. All because someone's pride, all because of someone's ego was going to be hurt. And some people, like Herod and those who followed Herod, probably thought that was a good idea. Oh, good. Maybe they won't take your throne. Maybe they won't take your kingship or that which is not yours. But we saw what happened, the sadness that they killed the innocents. And then from there, we then understand that what Christ then grew and taught us. That's why when we say what we are as Orthodox Christians, guys, whatever you are, you're Greek, you're Russian, you're Serbian, this and that, or whatever the case may be, we need to imitate and truly follow Christ. The only thing that I don't like is with both people when they cause riots. I'm talking about the far left and the far right. All of them are saying that they're doing it in the name of Jesus, or that they're doing it in the name of righteousness. I don't think that's correct. I don't think causing harm, destroying properties, hurting our fellow citizens and human beings, and then sadly even killing each other is not what Christ calls us to do. And because we're so frustrated, because we're so pained, and because we're so detached, not so much because of the pandemic. Guys, these feelings have been existing for the last, I don't know, years, decades, even centuries. From, the issue that people say black and white, to the issue of male and female, rich or poor, whatever the case may be, they've always been in existence. But I think the hardest thing that I want you guys to realize is that there's something missing in our lives. There's not a priority. There's no faith. There's no hope. There's no love. And so what we do as humans, we fill that void. And how do we fill that void? With extracurricular, with people who we think are righteous, right? I mean, I can't understand, and I don't have a biasness or preference one way or the other, but I can't understand when people gush over a politician. Like, people adore Biden. People adore Trump. They're just two old guys that are politicians. I don't know. Can you tell me that's something great about them? Can one of them perform miracles? Can one of them truly love as we're supposed to love? I don't know. Can one of them really embody what it means to be a Christian? Like I try to be, but I fail because I'm unworthy. I try to do it, but I'm not doing well. I don't think so. So why do we have them on these pedestals? Same thing now with athletes. Why do we love athletes so much that we want to imitate them? Is it because of their talents or of the popularity and notoriety that they have? That's another thing. LeBron James, he is a nice guy. He's done really good stuff. He's not the greatest. He's up there though. I'll give him that, right? But can he perform miracles? Is he loving each other? Or is he understanding the sufferings that we see? Any athlete. It doesn't matter. Now, let's break it down another thing to you guys. Movie stars, TikTok celebrities, Instagram this, whatever the case may be. I don't know what they're called at this point. What's so great about them? I don't know what is the necessity for us idolizing these people. Why do you idolize a politician? Why do you idolize a player? Why do you idolize a celebrity? Why do you idolize a doctor? Why do you idolize a lawyer? Why do you idolize a teacher? Why is everything that we idolize or look up to always in a humanistic term? So my one last question, I'm going to leave you guys, but I want you guys to all answer as best as you can to me now, is why don't we idolize and really make Christ, our faith, and the saints our priority? I want to hear from you guys. You guys are my future. You are the now, and you are a very educated generation. I want to hear from you guys. Why do you feel that we don't put an emphasis on them? Stati, I'll start with you.
Because in modern day, people don't, with all the craziness, people don't care to think about God or any religious stuff.
Why?
Because
Why is God not important to think about, or the saints or anything about it?
well, right now people are so obsessed with social media, so obsessed with TV, so obsessed with social life that really means nothing. Like drama, people all get caught into that when they, when they don't like take a second to look that like God does not want us doing all this. God wants us to just look at him and see what he did for the good of people, not for what people are doing nowadays by killing people, by hurting, and by just being very, very, very violent.
Yeah, those are some good points, Todd. Thank you. Christina, what do you think? Now, my question to you guys as well is, you guys are actually, I'm going to say this with respect, you guys are an anomaly. Everyone know what an anomaly is? That means something unique. That means something different than other people. So I said before, why don't we have Christ, our faith and the saints as a priority? It's 7:08 on a Monday night, and you guys are all here in a Christ-centered, event and a discussion. So clearly you guys have Christ as some sort of a priority in your life. Awesome. I'm proud of you guys. But why do you feel everyone around you is not? Or have you guys ever heard the term, the two things you don't discuss with other people are religion and politics? Has anyone ever heard that before? Okay. Why don't we discuss religion? Why can't we make what we said before a priority? Yeah, Christina, I want to hear from you. I'm going to hear from everyone. Go ahead, Christina.
They don't discuss it because they're scared to get into fights and they don't want to disagree with people.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty good one. Why is it always bring up a fight? Christina? Or go ahead, Vasi. No, you go ahead. Vasi, your turn. Why do you think it brings up a fight or an argument?
Because people believe in different things, and
Okay. So if you believe in different things, can't we just have a discussion?
well, a lot of people just I don't know, just don't want to talk about it or something.
Okay. Those are some good points. Sammy, Kokos, what do you think, brother? What are your feelings on this?
I think that those two topics are really controversial and could spark some feelings that should not be sparked because it brings up pasts and stuff, and some people can't handle the conversations and all the emotion.
Okay, I give you good credit, good points. Now, more curveballs from Father Chris. How did the saints talk to other people about Christianity or about their faith? Can someone give me an example? Christina?
They gave speeches and stuff
On what?
on their faith and God and Christ and other stuff they believe in.
How did they do their speeches? Did they say, I am a Christian and this is what a Christian does? Or
Talked about Christians. They didn't say I'm a Christian, or maybe they did, but they're like at the end of their speeches.
so some good points. What I wanted to express was most saints that became, obviously all saints become a saint after death, right? They're not a saint during their life. We honor them after the fact. Is that most saints, if not all, never spoke about what it means to be a Christian, but they did it through how they lived their Christ-like life. Think about it. Do you ever notice why we don't have more writings and more quotes and discussions from all the millions of saints that exist in history? Think about it. Why don't we? Why doesn't Saint Eustathius with his family, why don't we have any quotes from him? Because he lived a Christ-like life. He then followed Christ, and then in turn, because of that, he was only simply because he was a Christian, and because he loved and honored Christ and everyone else around him, he and his family were martyred. But he didn't say and write a big book and say, this is how you live a Christian life, and then this is what Christ is. No. Think about the other saints. Why don't we have any stories or other, books and scriptures and poems and other things from other saints in which the way they live their lives? Think of all the monastic saints. Think of all the women saints. Women back then, we're talking about 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000 AD. Do you think they had the same rights as women do today? Most certainly not. So they didn't have the right to speak up and do what they wanted. But they understood that when they followed Christ, you have to live like Christ. And living like Christ literally means giving up your ego, giving up yourself. It's not about your identity. It's not about your priorities. It's not about how you feel and what you think about and what that you are right. Life, as you guys are going to see as you get older, it's not about the you. It's about us. It's about the we. So I brought it up yesterday in my sermon, and I was very passionate about it, but I really believe it. How are you guys going to unite the world? How are you guys going to mend the world together? You probably have family and friends you might even be close with who do not agree with you regarding Trump or Biden. I guarantee it. Okay, so how are you going to continue to make the world a better place? Because you guys are the ones who are going to grow. You guys are the ones who are going to mature. You guys are the ones who are going to in the future have families. You're going to raise children, and then you're going to want them to have a beautiful life too. So I'm going to ask you guys, we heard some good points now that Christ isn't around. I want to hear now from you guys. How do you guys plan on making the world a better place? Singular, that's the only time it should be you, is how are you going to make the world a better place? And secondly, can you guys make an impact in this world so that it can be a better place? Luigi, I saw your hand up, brother. How are you going to do it?
I think just simply by leading by example. I mean, if one person goes, then others will follow. And then once others will follow, then more will follow. So I think you just have to start doing the right thing and start by doing it yourself. Because if you start off with trying to get everyone to do it, it's not going to happen. Not everyone's going to agree right away. But if you just take it step by step, then, it'll eventually hopefully work out.
So let me ask you this. Great, that's a great answer. If you help one person and one person becomes a better person, did you guys make an impact in this world?
I would say so.
It's pretty, guys, what you're going to realize, and I know even a lot of athletes do as well too, and hopefully some celebrities and politicians will learn as well too, that for us to make an impact in the world and to really say that I'm a Christian and that I believe in Christ and I have put on Christ and I have Christ, is you just need to live like Christ. And you know what? That's hard. It's not easy to be like Christ. It's not easy to go up to someone who's yelling at you and just simply talk to them and say, I love you, or say, I understand how you feel. It's not easy to go up to someone when they're hurting you physically, spiritually, and mentally and telling them, I understand your pain. I feel sorry for you. How can I help you? It's not easy for us to go into the world when the world doesn't want us. Is this world a Christ-led world? Vicky, what do you think?
I think in some parts of it is, but also sometimes not. Especially what we saw the other day, that wasn't very Christ-led.
Right. And then you got to understand, our country was not used to this. All those kind of protests and stuff too, they happen almost on a daily basis somewhere in the world. But we as Americans, we have a higher respect we have a higher demand and a higher expectation. So if I'm not living up to that effort, well then, am I making a change in this world? You know, I put on my Facebook profile, I want to read something for you guys that I put on here, okay? So give me 1 second. But I said last week when I saw what had happened, I put, may there be peace on earth and may it start with me. Think about that. May there be peace on earth and may it start with me. So I know that with myself, and just like Luigi said, that I can make a lasting effort and change by doing the best that I can to make the world a better place. But lastly, and I'm going to read a prayer for you guys afterwards. I'm going to ask you guys this, and to the couple people who haven't answered yet. How can we find peace on earth? From this whole conversation, I've been telling you guys we're missing something. How do you make peace in this world? By conquering the whole world? Because even if you conquer the world, there's going to be someone who disagrees with you. So how do you find peace on this world? Or how do you make peace in this world? Michael Varon.
By respecting other people's decisions and not like being rude to them just on their beliefs.
Okay. That's one way to get peace. Christina, did you have your hand raised?
Another way to get peace would be just like not to talk about things that people disagree about, because everyone has their own opinion and you have to respect it, but you could just not talk about it and everyone will be happy.
Very good. Costa Cocos, what about you, my friend?
I'd say getting out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Getting your what out of the what?
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Oh, getting out of your comfort zone. Okay, how about you elaborate on that one? What do you mean by that to find peace on earth?
So if like people have been saying, if you disagree with someone, get out of your comfort zone. Like, don't be so competitive with other people's opinions and just let it be.
That's a good point. Okay. George Katz, what do you think, brother?
Sorry, Father. What was the question again?
So how do you feel in some way that we can have peace on earth?
I mean,
it's not a simple answer, but I want to.
Yeah, I don't like. Are we ever gonna have peace on Earth though?
Okay, that's a good question.
I think that's the bigger question.
So if that's a great question. So the question is, so what's missing if we can't seem to find that there's gonna be peace?
The problem we won't have peace on Earth is because civilization itself won't come to accept other people's opinions and always think their opinion is right.
Okay. So by you doing what? So do you just give up and say, okay, well, it won't happen. I'll either stand by the sidelines or join in the anarchy?
No, for us right now, being in Goya on the Zoom, like we could always change and be better, and we could accept people's views. We don't have to agree or disagree to try and keep the peace. Doesn't mean there will be peace. But we could all do our part. It's just out of our hands to control peace.
So you guys have all given me humanistic answers. So why is there no peace on Earth?
Because people don't apply.
What's missing?
Answers. Acceptance.
No. You can accept everyone and there still won't be peace. Because they might do something that you don't agree with or whatever, or they might not want what you want. What's missing on Earth? Billy, Panos.
Jesus.
Thank you. Guys, you guys all gave me humanistic answers, which is fine. Okay. But you guys are here on a Goya Zoom call, right? You're all here because you're Orthodox Christians. You've all been baptized. You've been chrismated. You've been illumined. You've been sanctified. And you take on Christ. You participate in the church. You take communion and everything else. But the rest of the world does not have Christ. Some don't want Christ. Some hate the essence of Christ. Others are jealous because of Christ. So it's difficult for us to find peace when we don't have Christ. Now, Vicky made a great statement. I like this one. I think it might be because God didn't make us perfect, so we physically can't have world peace. Well, remember, perfection, Vicky, is in the eye of the beholder. Every single one of you, I look at you now, are made in the image and likeness of God. I see all of you as a beautiful creation and a unique in the way that you are. male, female, long hair, short hair, good at basketball, bad at basketball, George Katz, whatever. He's like, man, Father, you rip on me all the time. You know how much I love you, George. It doesn't matter because we're all created in the image and likeness of God, but we don't see that in each other. So Vicky, you actually made a great statement. We actually see each other and we want to be something better. Why do you think people look at models and say, I want to have a nice hair, I want to have a nice body? Or we look at athletes, I want to be built, or I want to shoot like that, or I want to do this and that. Why do we always look at them and then we don't take a step back? I want you guys to start doing something as junior Goyans and as Goyans. And someone said it before too. I want all of you on a daily basis, not only to start praying, okay, like you do normally, morning and at night and before a meal and after meal, but when you go to bed, right before you go to bed, I want you to take a deep breath and take a step back and look at everything in your life. Because when you do that every night, you're going to earn something. And you know what you're going to earn? You're going to earn gratefulness. You're going to earn gratitude. And when you see everything that you have in your life and you become grateful for everything that you have in your life, the world is such a great place. It is so beautiful. It has so much to offer. And the best part of it is because of how each and every one of you are unique and how beautiful you are and how great of a blessing you are into this world, you will make the world a better place by loving, by being someone who will then in turn be the great example for our world and for our future generations. But I am asking all of you, take that step, practice, pray, contemplate, think of all the blessings that you have. Take that deep breath, slow down once in a while in life. We're always in a hurry. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Look at life, guys. You guys are so blessed. I'm so proud of you guys to have you as my Goyans and junior Goyans, because I know that you guys will accomplish a lot in life. But I'm asking every single one of you, it's my challenge from Father Chris to you. We're in a new year. We're in a new month. And we're going into this in a new way. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. Please, let your light that Christ has given you shine. Love people. Help people. Not only listen to people, but acknowledge them. And if you disagree with them, understand their opinion and don't get into an argument. You don't have to fight. It doesn't have to be you're right, I'm wrong. No. Build your relationships. Make Christ a center of your life. And then in turn, Christ will be into all of our lives. And then when the priest says, peace be with you all, that's really what we can understand what we all need in life. We want peace and we must have Christ in our lives. So I just want you guys to know something. As I told you honestly, I'm very proud of you. We love you guys all very much. I know it's been a very tough year, but there's a light at the end of this tunnel. I want everyone to stay healthy and stay well. And we're going to look forward to the next meeting in 2 weeks. And then hopefully by then we'll get some more information about possibly meeting together in person, either in February or in March, and really enjoy not only our company, but our beloved Church of St. Nectarios, okay? I hope all of you are staying healthy and well. Chronia Pola to anyone who celebrated their names days the past couple of weeks. And Happy New Year, and God bless all of you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for an awesome discussion, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye,
Bye.
guys. Take care.
Father,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Father.
Thank you.